Hello, I am Bethany Belbin, and I will be previewing my object-oriented Java assignment 2, where I created a movie object connected to a GUI using JavaFX. To begin, I will show my text file so far. So here's my movie catalog, and so far we have Back to the Future with the actor Michael J. Fox, genre sci-fi, year 1985, length 115, and then I continue so with While You Were Sleeping and the movie Taken. So I'll close that right now, and we will preview the GUI in action. So I'm just going to run the file here. So this is my GUI for my movie catalog, and the idea is that if somebody wanted to store the movies that they have so far in a database or in a text file even, all they would have to come in here to do is just type in the movie title, the main actor, the genre, the year released, and the length in minutes. And then they would just write to the file. And down here we just say that please fill in all fields. So to get started, we'll type in Star Wars, A New Hope. Then the main actor is Mark Hamill. And we'll select fantasy. The year is 1985. And the length in minutes, we'll use the slider here with the tick marks to kind of guide us. And 121 minutes. So then we'll just click Write to File. And below you'll see that it was successful. So I'll just cancel out of that there. And we'll go down and we'll open up my movies project. And here it is, movie catalog.txt. And you can see here we got Star Wars, A New Hope, actor Mark Hamill, genre fantasy, year 1985, and length 121. Okay, so if we go back in here again, and we will run the file. Say I wanted to enter in an actor, but I forget to enter in the movie title. We will choose Daisy Ridley. Okay, we'll say sci-fi, and we'll just choose like 116 minutes, and we'll leave these two fields empty. So down below here, you could say it still says, please fill in all fields. And then if I go to open up that file again, I will go to my computer. NetBeans projects, movies, and open up the catalog again. And you can see here that it did not write into the text file itself. So we'll close that, and we will open up my NetBeans again. And under NetBeans, you can kind of see where we kind of got a bunch of exceptions here. And they're going through and saying how we haven't put in any strings. We haven't chosen a year, so the integer parse net. And I'll go through that right now. So I'll cancel that. So we'll go to my movie class, and here I have instance variables for string title, genre, and actor, and an instant variable for year released and length in minutes. Then I create my constructor, and then I have my getters and setters. And Here under public void set title, we have title.isEmpty. So if it's empty, it'll throw an exception saying the movie must have a title. And same with actor, it'll say the actor must have an actor, or the movie must have an actor, sorry, if the actor section is empty. We continue down and it does the same with the genre. And then when we go to year released, we do if the current year is equal to now, then get year. And so if the year released is the year released is less than or equal to the current year, then we add that to the movie released. And then we do an exception here as well for set length in minutes, where we test to see if the length in minutes is less than 240 minutes or greater than 0. And then we throw an exception. And then we have a toString where we output the string that we see in the file. Then we're going to come to the controller. And here we have the initializer, and we're going through and initializing all of our instance variables with the @fxml, where we allow it so that way the GUI can talk to our code. And so we've got the text field for title, the text field for actors, and we have the radio buttons for the genre. Then we have the year release slider. So we have the slider itself, and then we have the slider label, which is what we see when we update it. Then we have the text field for the year, for the user to enter in the year. We have the button, write to file button. We have the write to file label, which we would see success if it was written to the file. And then we have our toggle group. And then under initialize, we set all these. So if here we set the minimum to 0 for the slider itself, then we set the max to 240 because it's the amount of hours that is allowed, or minutes that is allowed. And then we have the tick marks. So that just shows the label for the tick marks and then the tick marks themselves, and then what increments it goes up by for the major and then the minor. And then we update the length slider label. Here we do the same. We use a toggle group for the radio buttons, so that way it senses if one of the genres is selected. Now with radio buttons, only one can be selected, not multiple, which in reality is not the case it would be. Many movies have multiple genres, but for simplicity's sake, this is the way that it was done. And then we update the slider. So as we're moving it, we're updating the slider and we're setting the text to a float number, and then we're getting the value for it. Then for the write to file button pushed, we are setting what is selected to the strings themselves. So here we're using what is selected for the radio button, for the toggle, into the string genre. And here we're doing the slider label. We're taking that value and we're inputting it, getting the string format of it for length in minutes slider. Then we're doing the same string title. We're getting the text field, what the user has entered, into this text field, and we're setting it to the string title. And the same for the actor. Whatever the user has entered into the actor's text field, we're setting that to the actor. And then here, int year, integer parse int. So here we're taking the text, the string itself, and we're converting it to an integer in order for it to be read, because back in our movies object, our movies class, we have already determined that the year is an int. So here we create the object. We instantiate the object. So we've got movie equals new movie, and then we set title, actor, genre, year. And then for the length and minutes slider, we have to set the int in front of it because it is coming through as a double. And so we need to set it in front of it so that way it knows that it's not a double but an int itself. And then we're opening up a try here. We're creating the text file itself, seeing if it's true. And then if it is, we are writing the string from the movie into the text file. And then if that's correct, we're writing success to the write to file label. And then the catch, we have an exception, which will say what the issue is if it doesn't open the file. And then we'll say write to file label, and then it says all fields must be filled. Okay, so that is the end of my discussion on my assignment.